There have been a lot of young players that have been blossoming on the scene, and I want to ask you guys, which one of these do you think has the most star potential and has shown you the most in the playoffs? Riv, you were debating with Drew before the show on who you guys were going to pick, so I'm going to give you the floor first to pick your players.
Well, I'm going to let him take the other guy because clearly he couldn't find anybody else. And I
could find someone else. Listen, if you want, you could say these two.
No, it's okay. And I feel like for Anthony Edwards, it's hard to really say him because we kind of felt like he was already going to be a star in a sense. So for me, it's Jordan Poole, obviously. I think with him being that, like with Steph Curry going out and towards the end of the year, him subbing in for that role, he was amazing. And then coming into the playoffs, Steph Curry decides, I want to come off the bench. And Poole starts, and it's like they haven't missed a beat. He's been amazing. He has the ego. He has the confidence of being a star. He has all the intangibles of being a star, not to mention the insane shooting he has, the ability to get to the basket, the moves, the combination of skill he has. So for me, it's been Jordan Poole because of the performance he's been doing, and on top of that, the type of attention. Golden State is one of those teams that's supposed to come out the West. They've been hurt all year, and people are kind of sleeping on them now towards the end of the year because they had a kind of a slip. And Poole is supposed to be the guy that's next up with Wiseman and Kuminga that's supposed to take over the franchise when the big three is gone.
You throwing Moody in there or not yet?
Yeah, I'll throw Moody in there, but I'm talking about like stars.
I know what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Kuminga is a star too?
Kuminga's going to be a star, bro.
He might be.
Yeah,
I've been seeing on Twitter that Jordan Poole has been getting compared to Steph as a ceiling.
I think that's like an insane ceiling. Like that ceiling is like
crazy.
Top 3 on earth when at his best. I wouldn't say that, but he can definitely be an all-star. Oh my God, now that we're on the Poole thing, that whole Gary Trent Jr. better than Jordan Poole thing, yeah, that's officially in the water.
Gary Trent had a good game last night.
He had like 9 points a game before that.
Correct.
It's stinky.
I mean, listen, Poole has put himself in a different category right now, and
it's a different beast.
It's make or break when it comes playoff time, and that's why I got to give credit where credit is due.
So what's your comp for Jordan Poole?
I told you it was Monte Ellis.
I don't feel like that's a good comp, personally.
Listen, man, you said that.
I was hoping you were going to come up with a new one.
I didn't, because I didn't think.
Did you hear him? It's a horrible comp.
Yeah,
that's a horrible comp.
I couldn't think of one on the fly. Like
you kind of just like grouped in 2 Warriors players.
I did.
We're like, yeah, this is him.
Because I was thinking like a scoring guard. So I was saying like Jordan Poole, combination of skill. But if you want me to think of a comp.
It's hard in this NBA to find a comp for him, especially for his ceiling, where right now he's going absolutely crazy in the playoffs, and a lot of his game is mirrored after Steph. So that's the reason why people are immediately jumping to conclusions. So I understand the difficulty of trying to come up with a comp for him, especially because his game's so modern.
See Steph, honestly.
Just his willingness to shoot the ball no matter what.
I think he has
matter.
Clay-like confidence.
Yeah.
Like
okay.
He's more like Clay in the sense. If I had I don't have a comp right now. I'm sorry, guys. All-star, though, definitely.
All-star? That's pretty fair. All right, so to give Riv his shine also, this is why he was giving me such slack before, because I'm going with Tyrese Maxey. Now, Maxey is interesting because when we first started previewing the series, I was skeptical about his game just because there were some moments where Maxey showed that he could be this player that he's been so far in the playoffs, but then there's moments where he kind of lets the other guys on his team get the ball before him and really is a little bit too passive for my liking. But he came out the gates game 1, put an exclamation point, 38 points, was phenomenal. Next game, drops 23 points. And then game 3 in Toronto, had a shaky 4 quarters really, but James Harden fouls out and overtime comes around and you start to see him be a little bit more aggressive, start taking the ball to the rack. And this is mostly impressive to me because he's doing this against really good guard play defensively. Fred VanVleet, solid defensively. Gary Trent Jr., solid defensively. And to put on the performance that he's been putting forward, you got to give credit where credit is due. No doubt about it.
Maxey has been better than Fred VanVleet. I'll go last, Lo. You can give your player.
I actually, man, my man Rev got it. I got a Jordan Poole, man. Not only because it's in the playoffs, coming off of basically back-to-back 30-point games. And sure, you can definitely argue that the defense is a little shaky out in Denver, but this has been going on leading up to where we are right now in the playoffs. Like he said earlier, even when Curry was out, if you look at the 20 games leading up into the playoffs in the regular season, Poole was averaging 25 plus on great shooting efficiency. And really what's gotten him looking the way he looks right now is that he's become much more comfortable in the offense. So then when it was time for the playoffs to start, he flowed extremely well in that starting role. And I also applaud Curry for taking the bench while he continued to get healthy. But
For sure.
yeah, Jordan Poole is like astronomically great. Like what he's playing right now is unbelievable. I don't know about a Steph Curry ceiling. I'll have to see it longer than just like a 30-game sample size, but definitely a lot of star potential and definitely can usher in a new era of basketball with the Warriors.
So do you have a comp?
Yeah. Do you?
Not really, just because the way that they utilize him, I don't even think that's like the way that you would probably play him. He would probably be more comfortable on the ball. He looks a little more comfortable on ball.
For sure.
And he's a lot more willing and daring. Monte Ellis is just a bad comp because he just wasn't a competent three-point shooter. I mean, if I had to say somebody, maybe Gilbert Arenas in a more structured environment. If Gilbert was in a more structured environment in terms of the offensive scheme being thrown around him being able to move off ball, him able to catch, shoot, more than just be a handler and distributor. But that Warriors offense is so unique that it's really hard to find.
I like Arenas if he passed the ball. I did
exactly.
I wouldn't like Arenas, but he did not pass the ball.
When you're playing Golden State, you have to be unselfish.
Exactly.
Does he give you a little bit of a Brandon Roy vibe?
I don't know because Brandon Roy was a little slower, but I can see why you say it. I don't know if I would give him Brandon Roy yet. Though.
It's just the amount of threes that he's attempting is like
PTSD, baby.
Like an risk.
That's hard.
Yeah, I know.
That's hard.
Yeah.
You know, when I was coming up with my answer for this topic, it was a bit tricky because I was like, am I going to go with the guy I've been most impressed with or the one that has the highest ceiling? But then I thought about it and I said, well, the guy I'm going to pick has both. I've been impressed with him and he has the highest ceiling. It's Anthony Edwards. And I want to shout out Ja because I think
for sure
having a stinker game one, then posting that Michael Jordan video and then coming out game two and Memphis making a statement like that was big time.
It's one of the cooler things an athlete has done.
Yeah, Michael Jordan.
But Anthony Edwards, granted, it's just been 2 games, 28 points per game, shooting 49% from the field, 38% from the three. Third youngest player with 35-plus points in a playoff game. Did it in his first game, dropped 36. He's 230 pounds, 6'5", 6'6", probably closer to 6'6". And the wiggle he has, his handle, the smoothness of his game, I'm just impressed by him, and I love his confidence. He has this combination of confidence, swagger, but also humble. He goes on NBA Today and says, I'm the best defender in the NBA. His goal next year is to win DPOY. He said before on interviews, he wants to be the best two-guard to ever play the game. And in that same breath, after game one, when Minnesota shocked Memphis, he goes out and says Jaden McDaniels was the best player on the team in game one. Like the humbleness he has, but also the confidence he has is what I've been most impressed with. You guys know, Minnesota, I'm not worried. Minnesota is going to win this series. I'm not worried. It's going to be Wolves.
I would be worried.
It's going to be Wolves.
I would be worried.
Wow.
Wolves in 7?
Wolves in 7.
I'll tell you what, man. I'd feel more confident saying Grizzlies in 5.
Ooh.
That's crazy.
I think that one's hot, too.
I feel that
It'll go
confident.
6 or
Anthony
7.
Edwards, you heard what he said. He said, we not worried. We going back to the crib. And he puts the Minnesota fans up there with the best of them.
They're pretty good fans.
It's cool that he said that, but I think Ja woke up.
Correct.
And I think now that Ja's woke up, it might be over. But we'll see. I still got
D'Lo hasn't gotten
game.
going yet.
D'Lo hasn't gotten going yet because he's been stinky.
Correct. He's been
stinky.
But he averaged 30 against them.
What
hasn't shown.
I think he's due for a big
He
time
averaged 30, yes, but that was the regular season.
What is he averaging? 2 field goals?
He averages like 8 points. He's stinky.
Yeah.
He's been averaging like 12 points. I think
saying,
he's
2
had
field
like
goals,
11
right? I think it was like 2 for 11
in the past 2 games.
It's not that good.
Jeez. That's tough. That's tough.
Not great by any means.
The problem with Ant though was because like that second game really wasn't that impressive from Ant. It was solid, but not impressive enough to where it threw me back. Especially after the first half, it just wasn't that impressive. So I like Ant, and I definitely wish the best for him. And I was a doubter at first, but this last season, especially the second half, or maybe not the entire second half, there was definitely a midsection of the regular season where Ant looked really, really good. But Jordan Poole, bro, that man,
Listen,
man can get it going.
That's the obvious answer. No doubt about it. Jordan Poole has been the most impressive young star. But to what you were saying about John Moran, I need to give him his due diligence. To post that video, the pressure that you just put on yourself to perform up to that caliber is crazy. He realized the expectation that he put on his shoulders, and for them to go and put up almost 30 points on the Timberwolves, that is swagger at its finest.
I do also like Edwards saying he wants to play defense because not a lot of
Facts.
young guys want to come in and play defense.
Not many
right
do
away.
right away.
So I think that's actually pretty dope that he wants to play defense early, and he played really good defense for the past 2 games.
Real quick, I don't know. This statement was strong. You were low on Anthony Edwards?
In the beginning, because when you have players like that, especially in their first portions of their career, they're trying to figure it out. Normally, they get so hyper focused on scoring that they kind of put the rest of the game on the wayside. So I do congrats him as well for highlighting defense, for him actually putting an effort on defense, because that is an aspect of the game that I think a lot of people forget. He's also had to continue to grow as a ball handler, distributor.
Definitely.
Because as time continues to progress and more defenses hone in on him, he's going to have to make the proper decisions and not turn the ball over 4 or 5 times a game while only getting like 1 or 2 assists. So those are other aspects to him. But it was really the defensive end of the floor I was going to hold off on until I was like really confident in him. You can go out there and give me 20, 23, and even do it efficiently, but there's so many other players in the league that can do that. You got to do a little bit more than that. And I just didn't know if I was going to see that from Edwards yet.
Yeah, that's true. There are just certain players that, although there are flaws in their game, you bet on the person.
Yeah.
And everything that I've heard from Anthony Edwards, I'm betting on the person.
Respect.
And a similar player to that, and I told you about him way early, like in August, is Herb Jones. Herb Jones was somebody that was a 2nd-round pick, but when I sent Riv my top small forwards list, he was like, Herb Jones at 5? Why do you have him so high? And I told him, despite his shot, I think he's going to develop that, and he's already an all-world defender